Hey there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. This is Tortoise Process, and as usual, I'm going to bring you the best videos regards to forex trading concepts and prop firms and all that. Basically, I trade mainly gold, okay, and I've not really traded in the prop firm industry for a very long time. The very first time I attempted to do a prop firm was in 2022. That was just around the early years when I started trading, okay. But then, guess what? It didn't go so well because at that time my risk management was very bad. I mean, I could pass a challenge and probably fail the verification, and I never really went through to um, getting funding, basically. I mean, so I just stopped trading the prop firms just as soon as I started. Okay, I felt it wasn't my thing, so I just put it on the hold. In fact, I even totally forgot about it, and I was so focused more on building my own personal account and trading it myself, which has been going so well that I didn't really find the need to get onto the prop firm. But 4 years later, seeing how prop firms are doing, and I mean, seeing how I've developed my skills and my strategy, I mean, I was like, why not? So just this week, um, I got 100,000 challenge, which I managed to clear out in 4 days, and then continue to the verification, which I'm now currently running right now. Okay, so I'm just going to take you through how I was able to get through the whole challenge and how the verification process is going right now. So, like I said earlier, um, I had a 100K account, right? In fact, I had a 100K account. Even before that, the very first time was a 27K. I think it was a 25K account, and yes, and that was ended. I actually passed that challenge, but then I didn't make it to the I wasn't successful with the verification. Yes, then this was also that same April May. I think the next month I bought a 100K account, which unfortunately I wasn't successful with the challenge. But then just recently, as you can see, dates here, which ended 29th of January, which should be today. Yeah, I actually completed this challenge and I'm now running the verification. It took me about just 4 days. I mean, it took me 3 days, but then I just had to wait for the minimum trading days to finalize it. Okay, so let's go through how it all went. Okay, I'm just hoping that by the end of this, you really understand how risk management plays a very key role in trading prop firms. Okay, I know sometimes it's crazy and all that, but it's for the best. Okay, prop firms rules is what I find to be the battle, or it's the what do I call it? Is the antidote you need for that psychological vibe that sometimes is so hard to fight, because your body is so keen for win-win, catch this trade, don't miss out on this trade. But then the restrictions the prop firms give you actually tries to restrict you and always put your mind on the fact that your risk management should be number one priority. So you're always out fighting your emotions or your brain's desire to really get quick profits. Okay, but let's see how this played out. So I started this account on yeah, on the Monday. Okay, basically I took quite a lot of trade, 24 trades I took, because most of the time I set a lot of break evens, pay my strategy. Okay, so I end up entering the trade multiple times. All right. Yes. Then the next day, I think, as you can see, everything went south, and I just took 9 trades. Yes, I didn't want to go past my daily limit. So I mean, this was about like 4.7%. Okay, Then the next day, being the third day, yeah, with 27 trades, I was able to push my account up to this level. And then on the fourth day, I just had to enter a small trade just to activate the fourth trading day. Okay, as you can see, 4 trading days right here. So what is this? What's is very important to really check on this is the equity curve. Okay, equity curve can really play with your emotions, your psychology if you are not so strong. And as you can see, account started so fine. Then my first trade, I was in a drawdown, and this is where it gets very tough. Okay, it gets very tough when your first few trades ends you up in a drawdown. But just see how it progressed all the way and came back into went into some cool 4%, came down into drawdown again before we rallied all the way up here to our profit targets. Okay, so what really helped me with this was basically low risk. As you could see, my average loss was $471. I was risking usually 0.5% on the trade. That was it. That was the trick for me. 0.5% on the trade, and then God being so good, I get a trade that's 1:3. I get 1.5%. Sometimes, most times, 0.5 ends up giving you 2%. Trading gold can go so well that you just risk 0.5% and you can make 3% out of it. Okay. So yeah, so to get 10% wasn't really much of a big deal. Just meant that I needed to trade more because I was risking a very little amount of the funds that I have. That should explain why my trading number of trades were actually as high as that. So yep, so that's basically how it looks. Okay, you can see my equity before by the time I entered the trade 110,000 profit target hit. Win rate was just about 50%, and you don't need anything more than that to really be profitable. Yeah, it's just the number of trades that I'm gonna work on to try and reduce the number of trades that I take, and we see how that goes. Okay, so basically, yeah, well, I would like you to see how the trade breakdown went. Okay, so this was the first day. Okay, on the first day, well, as you can see, this is the very important thing that you really need to pay attention to because prop firms are so strict on risk management. As long as you have good risk management, you are risking 0.5%. Anything less than 1%, they are okay with that. They are okay with the moment you start trading more than 1%, then they are like, this guy is our money safe with him. But guess what? I just tried as much as possible to trade just 0.5%. Yeah, and on $100,000 account, 0.5% on the one lot size. So basically, that's $500. So basically, one lot size with my stop loss usually being 50 pips, 10 times 50. That's about $500. Okay, that's what it means. One lot size. A lot size is what a standard lot size means $10 per pip, and if you are risking 50 pips, that means you are risking $500 on the trade. All right, so as you can see, I lost. So basically, this is the strategy. Okay, basically, you could start out with 5%, but then as you can see, my first 2 trades didn't go so well. So the next trades I entered, I had to lower my risk just to conserve my account and build it up more slowly. Okay, so I reduced it from 1% to now 0.5% now to what 0.25%, as you can see, and then I was able to make these gains on top of it, and that was just it. So I made enough profit on top. Then I went back to my 1%, my 0.5%. Well, going back to my 0.5%, well, trades didn't go so well, and that was the day I recorded some bad losses. Okay, Then I think yeah, that's the next set. Was it a single trade? I think it was a single trade, but at this point I risked a whole 1%. I risked a whole 1%, and I made 4% out of it in a single trade. Yeah, yeah, that's what you get when you're trading gold. Yes. So this is just a rough idea of how trades went that day. Another day, it was a good day. It was a good day. It was a good day. I can see the bad day. This was a very bad trading day, as you can see. I hope it helps you. It was just a very bad day, and gold was just selling basically throughout that day. So I was like, nah, my bias is for bias, and then it just keeps selling, 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 and I wasn't changing my bias at that point. So, well, it took me out. It took me out a couple of times, as you can see. It didn't really end up well. Okay. All right. Something about win rate. So my win rate of 50% was just enough to get me through day one. Okay, to be profitable. All right, and as you can see, my win rate on the second day was terrible. Then my win rate on Wednesday, that was yesterday, 55.5%. Like I said, you don't really need so much win rate. You just need anything around 50 or even 45 to 50. I think it's fair once your risk to reward is tangible enough. Okay, so on this day, it didn't start so well. It didn't start as usual. I'm risking mine. So, what I do is that when I usually my standard stop loss is 50 pips, right? That's what I usually use. But then there are sometimes that certain setups will not permit me to use 50 pips, so it will permit me to use 100 pips. But because I still want to I still want to risk 0.5%, I probably have to reduce my lot size and widen my my SL. So at this trade, for instance, my SL was about 100 pips. Yes, about 100 pips. But as you can see, it was just around a little bit above 100 pips. But basically, that's how I put it. Okay, so you can see after taking some losses, I start with a 1% per trade. But then, as the losses keep accumulating, I start to reduce my risk. Basically, that's the plan. Okay, but sometimes, I just go with a but maximum 0.5, but sometimes I can go 0.25. Yes. So I guess with this, probably I can't remember why I got out. Probably most likely break even. So usually I get a trade like this when maybe I enter a trade and it goes about 50 pips in my favor. Then I put my SLR break even. Then I mean, this basically break even usually. Yeah, this usually just break even. But then I probably didn't set it exactly at the right prices to get the exact break even trade. So basically, this is how it looks. This is how it looks for that day. I mean, as you can see, it was a very good day. I was still on my bullish bias, and it worked perfectly well for me. And then yeah, basically just it was just supposed to be a trade to activate there for the trading day, so that was just it. So basically, that was my FTMO challenge. I'll make another video taking you through how I'm doing on the verification, and yep, and I hope you try and get one, get a prop firm, and I recommend FTMO. Just do your due diligence research first. Okay, all right. Basically, that will be about it.